Now, a couple of weeks ago, the lovely guys and gals at Godox sent me over the Movelink 2 M2 wireless microphone kit. This is a 2 transmitter, 1 receiver kit. It's available for around £200, and I'm telling you, inside this box is pretty much every accessory that you could ever need for anything that you're going to do with a wireless microphone and content creation. It's going to be perfect for YouTube creators, TikTokers, vloggers, whatever you're doing, wherever you're posting content, wherever you're making content. This thing could be the wireless microphone system for you. And like I said there, I've been testing the hell out of it for the last few weeks. So there are timestamps below me here, somewhere down here. There should be timestamps for all the tests. So if there's just a particular thing that you want to see, hopefully I've got it all covered for you. So I'm actually talking into one of the transmitters right now. Got it plugged into the Sony ZV-E10 with a Sigma 18 to 50, or is it 55? f2.8. So we're going to start off by taking you in for an up and close look. I'm going to show you everything that this comes with, how you set it up with a camera. I'm then going to do a bunch of tests, come back at the end of the video and tell you all of my pros and cons of this wireless microphone system. So as well as the Movelink 2 M2, they also sent the MLH handheld handle for using this for like interview setups when you're out and about, and we'll take a little look at that in a minute after we've looked at the Movelink 2 M2. Now it is also available in white, but I got a black one today. Just a couple of things on the box. Supports real-time monitoring, broadcast quality audio. Well, we'll find out if it's broadcast quality. Easy buzzword there. Switchable between mono and stereo, which is great. Digital noise reduction, so there is noise reduction on this if you're in a noisy environment, and up to 100 meters of range. And then that is just another picture of it on the back there. This packaging is really nice. It's like a magnetic latch on the front, and then you can see everything that is inside here. So we've got the standard silica gel. Do not eat, do not throw away. Oh, just throw it away, but I didn't eat it. So that was one good thing. There appears to be here a couple of dead cats that can clip on to the microphone for when you're using it outdoors. I imagine this is a box full of cables, which we'll have a look at in a minute. And then we have the instruction guide as well. There's also a manual online if you ever lose this. And then we have the charging case, which is going to contain our Movelink M2 kit. There looks to be what will be an LED, which turns on when you are charging them. This does not have a built-in battery, so this is just a case to charge them all at once, which is nice. I obviously would have loved to have one with a battery. Here is one of the transmitters. So we have a power switch on the side, we have a mute button, and on the other side we have the DNR. So this is the dynamic noise reduction, also a pairing button, and a USB-C as well if you need to charge this. There is also a clip on the back here. Let's just see if all of the clips are designed. Yes, they are. There we go. So that you can hot shoe connect all of these. Now over to the top of the transmitter, you have the built-in microphone. There is also a 3.5mm jack for adding in your own lavaliers as well. So we have two of these. And then this little puppy is our receiver. So here is the receiver then, and you can see they're moving away now. They're obviously picking up my voice from the case. So there is the AB button, plus and minus for volume, pair button, which is mono and stereo. There is also an output to your camera and a headphone output. So let's talk about all these buttons and what they do then. So if we press the AB one on the side, you will see one starts flashing. And this is so you can set independent gain per receiver. You can go to -5 all the way up to +10. Okay. We'll set that one to +10. And then you can see the other one's flashing. We'll leave that as is. So now that I've come out of that menu, if I start to adjust the gain now, you can see it's independent gain as well. So that's how you set the gain for each transmitter. Now over to the side here, there is a pair button with the MS. Okay, so if we press the pair button now, you can see it's gone from mono and then to stereo. So what do these do? So essentially what mono does is takes both of these and records them to both the left and right tracks. So they're both on the same tracks, okay? So you wouldn't be able to separate that audio and adjust, like EQ, compression, any settings that you want to do per person. So if you want to be able to adjust each one as separate tracks, you set it to stereo. So then A will be recorded to the left track and B will be recorded to the right track. Just a stereo mono button. I would always recommend, if you're using two of these, to record in stereo, because what's going to happen is if you was doing like a 2-person interview with this, the other microphone is still going to be picking up some sounds, and because it's going to be coming off access, there's going to be a bit of coloration there. Even though these are Omni, it's going to sound like there's a lot more room and room tone. So always record with these separately. The one thing I forgot to show on here as well is when you press the DNR button, you can see we've got some gain moving around on there. See this little thing comes on just to tell you that it's dynamic noise reduction. I personally would have preferred to be able to run it all from this. I understand why you want to turn it on when it's noisy, but I'm just worried about someone putting it on and pressing it. So if you are going to let talent or, you know, just people put these on themselves, always just check afterwards. Okay, I wouldn't use the DNR unless you really have to. So here they are, all in their case. Plug it in with a USB-C and then they can charge them all. Now, as for battery life on these, the transmitters do 10 hours and the receiver does 8. So that's really cool as well. Right, so let's have a look at all your cables, connections, and there's actually some other cool stuff in here as well. So there are some magnets, but these ones aren't very strong, okay? For a thin t-shirt, they work, but anything thicker, I don't find they work very well. So I would personally maybe look at, if you want to magnetically put these onto your chest, maybe look at like Rhodes magnets that they sell to see if they're a bit stronger. That's something that I'm going to test out. You also get free USB-C cables if the charging case ever breaks or you lose it. So that's useful to have there. There was actually one other thing in the box which I didn't show you. Nothing exciting. There is also a little cord to attach to the case. We then have our connection cables. So to connect to a camera, you would be using the TRS cable, tip ring sleeve. There we go. I think that's the one. TRS. Might have pointed that out wrong. Nice cable there. It's got a good length to it as well. This is going to be nice if you're using kind of like a slightly larger rig. Maybe you've got some like monitors and stuff on there. And maybe you've got the transmitter on the other side to where you plug it into your camera. Now, this is what you'd use to connect to smartphones and probably microphone ports as well on a PC. So these don't have USB audio playback like the Rode Wireless Go 2. But this one here, let me just get some focus. This is a TRS to a TRRS connection. So this is to plug in to your smartphones. Again, really nice quality cables here, all gold connections. Good to see. Now, as well as all of this, it also comes with 2 lavaliers. They're nothing world beating. You can actually pick these up for about 15 quid, but it does punch above its price point, like many Godox things. I was thinking if it's Godox or Godox. So everyone call it Godox. I've always pronounced it Godox. So there is, yeah, these lavaliers here with a wind filter. Just get some focus there. There is the lavalier. Only really complaint about this clip is you might want to look at something different, because I can't see a way that you can do like a loop with it to stop it being, you know, pulled from here. There are a couple of little holes, so maybe you could put a cable tie in, but I might have a little look on the product page for this one to see what it's like. But we will test all of this. I'm going to test all of these microphones, and you get 2 of these in total. So what's next then? Let's have a little look at this piece here. Just clips in and boom. There we go. It's quite big, but it's better than having poppy, windy sounds. No high pass filters or anything built into these. That's something that I would have liked to have seen as an option as well. That one actually came off quite easy that time, but the first time I tried to get it on, it was a bit of a pain. Oh, we want to look at this piece now. Let's move some of this out of the way. I was dreading this. There's just stuff everywhere. I've actually got the M1 as well. I think it's the M1 or the new smaller one that I'm going to be reviewing around about the same time as this. So this is the interview handle. I think this is about £20. Oh, that's nice. So this is the interview handle. Get a nice foamy on the end of it there. I actually really like that there is a 1/4 inch thread in the bottom of it. So what you do here is take this, lean it back a little bit, slide it in. And there we go. Then you can put this over the top here. And you now have a handheld reporter microphone. I'm not too sure which one you'd want to use outdoors. This might be good for indoors, but I'd probably still, let's see if this fits over the top. Yeah, I might I'd probably still go for this kind of method outdoors, the wind filter method, but it all just depends where you are, really. This, I believe the other one looks a bit more professional. Well, I don't believe it does look a bit more professional there. So I just wanted to show you how I would set it up on a camera, and what you want to do is to set your audio recording level as low down as it can go. Okay, so set it to 1 and then turn up the transmitter to get to a good level. I like to peak at about minus 12 dB, and that gives you plenty of headroom. I'm actually talking into the handheld one, as you can see at the moment. So the gain I have set on this little receiver is set to +5. So what I would recommend is turn it up on that, and that is going to give you a cleaner sound, because camera preamps are noisy and hissy. Smaller microphones like this and smaller lavaliers, it doesn't matter what brand you buy, and naturally got high self noise as well. So always set your camera preamp as low as you can go. So here we are then, we're doing a bit of outdoor testing at the moment, and although it looks like I'm in a kind of a bit of a countryside area, there is actually a massive factory behind me there which you can probably hear. I'm not going to use the noise reduction now. I'm going to do some testing of the noise reduction in a bit more of a noisier place. So let me tell you about the setup, what we're rocking right here, okay? So I've got the ZV-E10 with the 11mm f1.8. Shutter speed is at 1 and 200 because I'm using gyro stabilization, so you don't really get the smoothest of motion blurs, but you do get really stable footage, and I don't have to set up a gimbal. I'm recording in HLG3, first time that I've used HLG3 outside, so if all my footage looks terrible, I do apologise. I've got it set to +1.3 to expose my skin. That gets just a little touch of zebra on my skin, and I know that's where it needs to be. I actually set it to a centre weighted metering, so I've got a big spot and I just keep my face in that, and then I know it's always going to expose, so the rest is just auto ISO to expose all of that stuff. Now I have actually got both microphones plugged in at the moment. We've got them set in stereo, so it's recording the one with the fluffy dead cat, so that's just the internal built-in microphone. It's recording that into the left channel, I think, and then we've got the lavalier which is being recorded into the right channel, and I've probably been switching between both of those audios as we did it. So yeah, just interested, you know, how does it sound? There has been a bit of wind about. I've already done the distance test because I screwed up this first bit of footage. So hopefully the area that I was in, there was a nice bit of wind, because it is, look, quite a big open space that I'm in. It's just annoying though, isn't it? You've got this lovely beautiful park and you just got this massive factory behind you making horrible sounds. There's also a coffee factory in my town as well, so in the mornings it just smells of coffee. So nature has been ruined by us and all our consumerism and gadgets. I know, it's a bit hypocritical, but yeah, just interested, you know, how do these microphones sound? I'm not monitoring them at the moment. The specs of the lavalier look quite nice actually. Doesn't look like it's got massive amounts of self noise, you know, although lavaliers are generally always higher. And then yeah, it's got a nice little bump up in the top, but I don't know how it's going to handle wind. It's really annoying now because the wind has just disappeared. Let's go find somewhere noisy to do a noise reduction test. So I've been meaning to come here all week, but it's just been horrible. It's been raining. I can't believe Godox sent me wireless mics to review at the beginning of the year in England. In England. I know. I did ask for them though, so I can't really complain too much. But yeah, it's been an absolute nightmare trying to actually find some weather to get all of this footage. Now, I'm on a bridge at the moment, it's windy, and there's a lot of cars, they're starting to go past. So what I wanted to test for you today is the dynamic noise reduction, so you can just have a little listen to it, okay? So let me just take this off for a second. So here we are then, dynamic noise reduction. There is a car going past. What do you think it's doing? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I've even just got the new Anchorwork M650, which does have probably slightly better noise reduction compared to every other microphone, but personally, I wouldn't use this. You should always do this in post afterwards, okay? Use it. So I've just turned it off, and the reason is if you're going to be doing any noise reduction in a noisy environment, always do it afterwards, okay? If you're on a Mac, use their voice isolation, it works okay. And you can, just slide how much of the effect that you actually want. I think that's the problem for me with a lot of these. You can't really decide how much noise reduction you want, and you can't undo that afterwards. And that's a big problem for me, really. So I don't like to put effects on top of audio unless I really have to, because it's better to do it afterwards. If you wanted one for PC, actually, one that I can highly recommend for you, and you can use it on Mac as well, is Waves Clarity VX as well. Again, that's got like sliders on it, and you can, adjust it to how you want to suit, because you only really want to be doing a little bit of noise reduction, not like a really aggressive noise reduction. And I think it's turned off. Anyway, there we go. There's a noise reduction test. So I'm about 10 meters away from the camera at the moment. I'm using the Godox Movelink 2 M2 plugged in, well, kind of like set up in the Reporter Handle grip that they sent out. Just wanted to see how this does for wind as well, because there is a little bit of wind going at the moment, and maybe if you should use the dead cat. But this is me at 10 meters. I'm just going to turn my back to see if it cuts out. I'm going to walk another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm now about 20 meters away from the camera. Really sketching out about this. I've been panicking for ages about putting my camera on a tripod and getting really far away from it. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm now about 30 meters away from the camera. It is the ZV-E10 with the now Sigma 18 to 50 millimeter or 55 f2.8 on it. Hopefully it's still got me in shot. I haven't got a big zoom lens, but I am now about 30 meters away from the ZV-E10, talking into the Godox Movelink 2 M2. 2 M2. 2 M2. That is the most confusing name ever. It's in the 2 M2. Turned around, kind of giving it some line of sight now. I'm now about 40 meters away from the camera, talking on the Movelink 2 M2. I don't think I have quite enough space to get me to the 100 meters. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I've lost counting at this point, but I'm far away from the camera, okay? Far away from the camera. So I'm now about 50 meters away from the camera, 50 meters away from the camera. Can you hear me? Honestly, I don't think you would ever want to get this much distance away from it anyway. I don't think you'd ever want this much distance away. I don't know if I'm losing signal. This is about as far as I want to go, but I am going to go right to the back. I would say this is easy 100 meters away. This is as far as you can go. Don't know if it's cutting out, can't hear anything. I'm not monitoring the audio, but this is just a test with the Movelink 2 M2, and I'm just going to start walking back towards the camera now, and hopefully my voice starts to come back in. This is actually a really nice park to come down to in the morning, actually. Everyone's actually friendly here. They say hello to you, which is rare in the UK. And this is actually the one rare day where it's not been raining for the next couple of weeks, so hopefully I don't have to come back here and shoot this footage. This is me now walking back towards the camera on the Movelink 2 M2, just seeing if it's going to cut out at all. I would have loved if they built external recording into these microphones, because then if you did need to go massive distances away, like with the Rode Wireless Go 2 and the DJI mic, you can then, record it internally, and it doesn't matter if you drop out or not. I feel like I walked way out of the field of the view of the camera now that I'm getting closer to it. Getting close. Oh, he's back. Distance test over. So then, let's get down to the meat and potatoes, the pros and the cons. Should you buy it? Shouldn't you buy it? Is it good? Is it trash? Let's discuss. Let's discuss all of those things. So, start off with the cons, shall we? Let's start off with the cons. So the number one con is that you can't record internally on this system. And I know it's a lot of stuff that's included for £200, but £40 more, you get the Rode Wireless Go 2. You also get the new Anchorwork M650, which is also being regularly discounted quite often since it's first come out. Anchorwork, very dangerously close to this in cost, okay? Spend a little bit more, you can get the DJI mic. And I feel that when you're already spending £200 on a wireless microphone system, spending $250 ain't really a problem. And if you get internal recording, that's something that you're going to really, want. And there's a few reasons why you're going to need internal recording. Number one, if you drop signal, you've got a backup track. I've actually had that happen to me before on stuff that I was recording for my work, and we had to reshoot an entire video because what we lost was very important content. And it was one of those things where it's just, you know, I could have brought them back in the room and just said, say this one bit for 30 seconds, but you know, you kind of don't want to be stitching in stuff from different days when you're trying to create the exact same look, because you can see that, okay? And the other reason as well why you want internal recording is camera preamps, hiss and noise, which we're going to discuss in a second. So camera preamps sound crap. They have hiss, small diaphragm, tiny little microphones like lavalier microphones, and what's in here are going to have hiss. That's not a complaint at Godox. That's how they all are. So then you add in all the preamp noise. Now if you record internally, you haven't got the camera preamp noise. It's a bit more work afterwards, but it's worth it, and that's what I would go with. Any other cons? Magnets. The magnets are weak source, seriously weak source. No point even using the magnets, put them back in the box. I'm using the magnets from the Anchor Work at the moment, and that's going to be the next system that I review. Anyway, try not to talk about that too much in this video because Godox sent this over. I know there's some cons here. I'm critical. I am critical. It'd be nice if this case had a battery in it as well, because that puts you in line with DJI. And again, Anchor. This wireless microphone system is, you know, market has changed quite a lot over the last couple of years. There's a lot of competition, and this is more of a soft upgrade. So let's talk about the pros. Love that you can record separate stereo left and right. That's super important. You should always do that if you're recording two of these, especially if you're recording with it indoors. Because this is an omnidirectional microphone. It's going to pick up more of the room. If you've then got, you know, the other one of these on someone 3-4 foot away, this one here is still picking me up, okay? It's still going to pick me up. So that's going to add more room tone. You split those channels, you can get rid of that microphone bleed. Other pros, build quality. Build quality is really nice. I just love the quality on this. I was a bit concerned that they had screens on them that they were going to be showing up. The Godox logo is quite discreet. I would still prefer it not to be on there, but compared to like what Rode, DJI and that are doing, like those new Rode wireless Mi's, they just look hideous. A massive Rode circle in the middle of it. Rode, we don't want to see that shit. Okay, I understand that people want to brand stuff, but put it on the side, put it on the back. If you were watching a content creator using something and you couldn't see what it was, you just asked them and then they replied to you. Okay, if you ask me what microphone I'm using when I'm using a boom mic, I'll tell you what mic I'm using. You don't need this branded stuff. It's the same with the freaking shotgun microphones, Rode and Deity putting logos on the side of the foam. We don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see it. I've gone up on another tangent here. But yeah, that's a good pro. Build quality is good. Sound quality I quite like as well. I find that the built-in mic and the lavalier, I think they're the same capsule. Couldn't really hear much of a difference when I was testing them outdoors. And what I think is that the lavalier sounded a little bit more open, and that's because it didn't have a dead cat on it. So I messed around with the EQ and they sounded pretty much the same. Get everything that's included in the box if I've not mentioned that, you know, all the cables that you could need, the dead cats, all the accessories, the lavaliers as well. So there's a lot of pros here, but it comes down to price. Like I said, this is almost like a soft little upgrade, and it's hard to spend £200 on it, like I said, when you can spend a little bit more and get something quite a bit better. That's how important internal recording is to me. But you will regularly see these being priced at around the £150 mark, and sometimes even less, which kind of then puts it in line with the Hollyland Lark. And this is a much better system than the Lark because you can plug external lavaliers in and they're in the box. You've literally got everything that you need. So for £150 all day long, but I wouldn't pay 200 for it. And that's just my honest opinion on it. I just wouldn't pay 200, but 150 all day long. Buy it. Shop around AliExpress, eBay, Amazon regularly. You'll find them on sale. And yeah, just get yourself some magnets. You know, some stronger magnets, and then you are good to go, because this is the best position here. You don't really want them up here all the time because you've got all this throat and stuff coming on. But yeah, end of the video waffle over. Let me know what you think about the Godox Movelink 2 M2 in the comment section below. If there's a different test that you would like me to do in some upcoming videos, let me know, because I'm more than happy to add extra stuff to the reviews. Really would like your opinion. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back with some more content very soon.